Good evening, world. It's your brother Jordan Brown here. I'm coming to you with the video this evening entitled "Racial Discrimination Vlog" on Houston's on Lenox Road in Buckhead, Atlanta, Georgia. And this short vlog will address some things that have been happening recently here in Atlanta, Georgia, some things that have been popping up on the news media, on social media about what's been going on at some restaurants here in Atlanta, Georgia, regarding racial discrimination against people of color, against black people eating in so-called fine dining establishments. So, if you haven't heard about this story, um, there's a gentleman by the name of Jay Morrison who's very big in Atlanta and nationwide as a leader, community activist, real estate mogul, TV personality, and so much more. And he has offices that are located on Lenox Road. I actually used to work in that same office building, directly across the street from where Lenox Mall is, the back entrance if you're entering the food court, where the JW Marriott building is. So anyway, on Friday, he entered Houston's restaurant, which is directly next door to this corporate office building where his headquarters are, with a group of seven, and they were denied seating. They were told that the Houston's restaurant does not accommodate more than parties of six or more. At this point, he tried to. And by the way, check out his Instagram at Mr. J Morrison to see all of the videos of the confrontation and happening in real time. But in a nutshell, him and his party and his companion were denied seating. They tried to split up into two separate groups so that they could be under the limit of six and sit in separate parts of the restaurant. Jay Morrison and Ernestine Johnson were turned away after the confrontation became aggressive during the lunch hour of Friday, October 6th, 2017. From there, they were turned away. The confrontation became aggressive, and that's when Jay Morrison and his companion decided to do a protest. Rather, they calling it a demonstration. A demonstration was organized for Saturday, October 7th at 3:30, and the restaurant closed in anticipation of that large group demonstration. They said they were also closed uh, today, which is Sunday, October 8th, 2017, a day that they were normally open. So they're normally open for business on Sunday, but they were actually closed today. They were closed yesterday, Saturday, October 6th, in anticipation of the demonstration. So I just wanted to go over a few things. First of all, Atlanta is a great city. We know that Atlanta is a city known as a black city, predominantly black. However, it is also a very racially segregated city. I always like to bring up the example of California or different cities in California. In California, you'll find communities with blacks and whites and Mexicans all living together. Atlanta is not that way. Very much segregated residentially, especially blacks living in certain zones of the city, whites living in certain suburbs of the city, Mexicans being self-segregating and living in certain parts of the city. And Buckhead is another example of that. Very segregated. You will find some black families and some black businesses peppered in, but for the majority, it's predominantly white. As far as residential and commercial use for businesses. Houston's restaurant is no different. It is managed by Hillstone Restaurant Group, which also has different restaurants under their umbrella, like Hillstone, Houston's, Bandera, and the White House Tavern. So, Houston's on Lenox Road calls themselves a New American restaurant. It's actually a very nice restaurant, unfortunately. It's beautiful. It has a great ambiance inside. It does have a small setting. It does not strike you as a place like a very much party environment or a large group environment. However, it is very nice. I have eaten in there on several occasions. I love the food and I love the service. And I personally have not experienced any racial discrimination at the restaurant, although I haven't tried to enter with large groups. I know at these restaurants they're considered fine dining, and so I conduct myself accordingly. Not to say that they don't discriminate against other people of color who are acting accordingly, and are good patronizing customers as well. So, what I'm seeing here is that a lot of these fine dining restaurants in Atlanta, they want to keep a certain image. It's a class issue, it's a race issue, it's a have and have not issue. They want to keep their restaurant at a certain class level and control the type of people that they let in, which is their right. So they don't want this Houston's restaurant managed by Hillstone Restaurant Group. They don't want their restaurant to become like a cheesecake factory where all type of people are felt comfortable coming in. They are very selective, and they actually do discriminate, and they vet and they profile the type of person that they want to let into their establishment. And I think this is the number one problem right here. They don't want it to be a loud party environment. That's their derogative. But and I believe this is why they don't say claim to accommodate groups of larger than 6, even though we've seen on social media them accommodate groups of 7 or higher. So that's another issue. Depending on the customer, they are willing to make an exception in their seating policy. They probably make the decision based on color, creed. Jay Morrison made the example, had 7 European Americans, 7 white Americans, 7 Caucasians entered into the restaurant and asked to be seated. They probably would not have been turned away. They might have been split into 2 separate groups, but we can be sure, and we can make that assumption that they probably would have not been asked to leave and be turned away, and the confrontation would not have turned aggressive because they would have been accommodated, they would have been welcomed, they would have been dealt with in a very in a hospitality setting, in a setting that encouraged hospitality, which is their job. So you're seeing a lot of discrimination. You're seeing racial profiling. You're seeing this restaurant try to control the crowd and control the type of person that's entering this restaurant. I've seen 3 videos. I saw one of a group of black ladies wanting to enter the restaurant, and it was for a birthday, and they begged and they pleaded and they were denied service. I've looked at the company's website and their dress code. They say no large groups larger than 6. They don't want anyone provocatively dressed. They don't want any baseball caps, no large athletic attire. So you're getting this same coded message of what type of attire you'll wear, what type of things. And these ladies, I guess they were turned away, but I believe his name is Vince Van Brunt. You'll see him in a lot of videos, and I believe that's his name, but don't get me mistaken. And this is actually the regional manager, but you'll see him at the Houston's restaurant. He was there the day after Jay Morrison and company were denied, right before the demonstration. And he was seen talking to police, asking that they be removed from the property and to be banned from the property. But in this video with the ladies, he denies them service and he denies them seating, and these ladies are so upset. I think it's a group of 3 or 4 black ladies, and they're denied service and they're denied seating. It's their birthday, and they're pleading and begging to be seated. They said, "We've covered up, we've covered up." Apparently, they were dressed too provocatively. So they're trying to control the type of customer that is seated, feels comfortable coming to them for business, and at the end of the day, it is discrimination. At the end of the day, it is racial profiling. Now, we as black people should be smart, be clever, practice group economics, and only give our business to businesses that want to do business with us and patronize us. But at the same time, being that this is a black city, a city where blacks thrive, contribute to the economy socially on so many different levels, it's known as a black city. We've always felt that we can go anywhere here. That's the way our city is built culturally. So I can understand why Jay Morrison and Ernestine Johnson were completely blown back. In 2015, there was a lawsuit filed against Houston, and it targeted Houston's was targeted in the discrimination lawsuit filed by a local attorney against the Hillstone Restaurant Group, and this happened in July of 2015. The man's name was Abil Aleem, and he says a manager directed him to remove his baseball cap and then loudly demanded he hang up his cell phone before asking the table to leave. So this restaurant has a long history of asking people to leave, calling police to have people escorted out, trying to diffuse situations and have police and people of the law, escort and push people out, and for reasons that are not very much against their policy and their rules that they have in place. So it sounds like, if you read between the lines, discrimination, profiling, and racism, based on the type of crowd that the Hillstone Group and Houston's restaurants wants to have serviced inside their restaurants. So I just wanted to shed light on this situation, give you what's been going on, give you the opinion, give you the kind of the climate of what's happening in these restaurants. Another one that's been brought up that has issues like this is White House Tavern here in Atlanta. And so what you're seeing is even though Atlanta's a black city, you're seeing certain restaurants try to control the type of customer not only that they seek but feel comfortable coming for business at that restaurant. So it's the same as having a whites only sign without having the sign. If you don't feel comfortable, you're not going to go there. And we feel that here in Atlanta, being that it's a black city, we shouldn't have restaurants that are viewed as whites only based on the treatment or poor treatment that blacks receive when they try to patronize this business. So just bringing you up to speed on what's going on here. Again, my name is Jordan Brown. I'll follow up with this story as more develops and come to you with another vlog. But like this video, share this video, subscribe to my channel, and I'll see y'all next time. Bye.